Hello, everyone, and welcome to Iowa State here in Ames at the Lead Recreational Complex for the 2026 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Blake Walker, Thomas Campbell with you here this afternoon for this Class 3A quarterfinal. It's the 4-seed Waukee Warriors at 9-3-3 taking on the 15-1-3 Bettendorf Bulldogs. Thomas, there's an elephant in the room today, and it's heavy, it's in the air, and it's the heat. The heat is dangerous today. Heat index up to north of maybe 90 degrees, a chance at possibly 95 degree. These two teams are going to have to deal with the hottest day that they have faced all season long, and it just so happens to be at the state tournament.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. They haven't played in this yet this year, and not only that, they haven't played on this surface yet this year. Switching to a grass field a lot of times is going to slow the game down in general. You add the heat to that, and I think, whoever can just play a little faster from the get-go is probably going to have the advantage in this game because you've got a few elements working against you to slow you down.
Let's take a look at the road to state for both these two teams. Waukee getting here with a 2-1 victory over the Ames Little Cyclones. Ames, a very solid team. They had just beaten them 3-1 just not even a week beforehand. On the other end, for Bettendorf, took care of Iowa City West in the Region 5 championship. Caitlin Stills-Pena is going to be one to watch, 18 goals this season, and Josie Muehlhaupt, 11 goals this season. The goalies are also really solid as well. Riley Sweetland at goalie for Bettendorf and Morgan Lowry at the back end for Bettendorf. One thing, though, both teams that stands out is that Waukee only has scored 34 goals the entire season. Meanwhile, Bettendorf has scored 80. So defense probably going to be the end-all be-all here, Tom.
Yeah, and I think that on a day like today, that slightly favors Waukee. When you're not scoring too many goals, when you're really playing in a low defensive block, your best bet is slowing the game down and not allowing your opponent to put as much pressure on you as they would like. And with the heat today and playing on the grass, if Waukee can really slow this game down, maybe hit on a counterattack, maybe score off a set piece, I'd say their low block definitely plays to their advantage today.
Bettendorf has recent success here at the state tournament. They were the Class 3A state champions just 2 years ago. They'd like to get back to that top of the podium. Meanwhile, Waukee still searching for their first Class 3A title here in girls state soccer. Well, we talked about it. Hot temperatures. The actual temperature here to start today's game currently sitting at 86 degrees, a high of 91. Heat advisory today for the most part. We're going to have we're going to have a break every 10 minutes for about 2.5 minutes. We saw that yesterday. That's a chance for these girls to kind of cool off because it's important, obviously, trying to keep hydrated. They brought in huge industrial fans on either side to show or to face the benches. So Iowa State, the entire staff here at Ames has done a really good job trying to help these girls out. And you're probably going to see more subs today than anything else.
Absolutely. I think if you're either team, you want to keep players, continue to get them in and out, fresh legs on the field at all times because I think, one lapse from a tired player is what could lead to a goal. And with teams like these, it really could be just a 1-0 game that gets it done.
In the Bound era, dating back to 2007, Bettendorf is 2-0 against Waukee. The last game came back on April 21st of 2023. It was a 2-0 victory for the Bulldogs. And then you got to go back to April 8th, 2016, 1-0. So, 1-0. So it's been pretty sporadic for both these two teams. You expect that out of two conferences that are on opposite ends, at least Waukee coming from the Metro and then Bettendorf on the far eastern side of the state of Iowa. For both these two teams today, Thomas, a key for both teams coming into today because a 4-5 matchup you expect is probably going to be one of the better games that we see of the tournament.
Absolutely, and I think, you saw that in the 4-5s in both the 1A and 2A quarterfinals yesterday, and I think both these teams understand that they probably have maybe one of the more tougher matchups in the bracket. I know Ankeny and Centennial play later, and that'll be a pretty competitive game, but these are two teams that they're not very similar, but they're very similar skill level. They don't play the same way, but they're each going to play hard, and they're going to play close with each other.
Waukee and Bettendorf, the winner awaits the winner of Waukee Northwest and Dubuque Hempstead, which has just gotten going before us over on field number 1. We're on field number 2 here, so we'll get things rolling momentarily as everybody is making their way out to the center circle. beautiful centered circle that is painted. We weren't really sure if last year it was painted and the rain just washed it all away or if they never were able to. But that's just the difference of state soccer. So that was just the difference between state soccer. One year you get heavy, heavy rain, and one year you get a lot of heat. We'll try to hope for partly cloudy skies as we do get a little bit of cloud cover coming over. But we're going to send it down to the field here for PA announcers to go over the starting lineups for Waukee and Bettendorf.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to the 2026 Girls State Soccer Quarterfinals presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. This afternoon's matchup features the Bettendorf Bulldogs and the Warriors from Waukee. Now let's introduce the players in today's Class 3A quarterfinal matchup. First, the non-starters for Bettendorf. Number 3, Olivia Anderson. Number 4, Marley Griffin. Number 5, Rachel Harris. Number 8, Charlie Cox. Number 9, Naya Drish. Number 12, Sadie Harnung. Number 15, Hayden Kohler. Number 16, Brielle Wilson. Number 18, Clara Cox. And number 20, Caitlin Fricks. Now let's meet the non-starters from Waukee. Number 4, Carson Gerleman. Number 6, Salandi and Ukamore. Number 9, Eleanor Hummel. Number 14, Ava Larson. Number 15, Eleanor Hartle. Number 16, Isabel Sheed. Number 18, Ellie Edwards. Number 20, Lily Yokael. Number 24, Ansley Ransom. Number 25, Debbie Cruz. And number 27, Peyton McRae. We will have a mandatory 3-minute water break. Now let's meet the starters for Bettendorf. Make sure you are Number 2, Emily Martin. Number 6, Avery Williams. Number 7, Addison Wolfel. Number 10, Taylor Engels. Number 11, Kelsey Smith. Number 13, Caitlin Stiles Pena. Number 14, Caitlin Kingma. Number 21, Haley Engels. Number 22, Destiny Borland. Number 34, Riley Sweetland. And number 76, Olivia Sloan. The head coach for Bettendorf is Allison Saney. She's assisted by John Keith, Anna Doherty, and J.J. Gonzalez-Hayes. Now let's meet the starters for the Warriors from Waukee. Number 0, Morgan Lowry. Number 1, Sydney Burrier. Number 2, Maddie Adams. Number 3, Hayden Byer. Number 5, Hannah Powers. Number 7, Libby Adams. Number 8, Josie Muehlhoff. Number 10, Tori Bonenkamp. Number 11, Kinley Street. Number 22, Stella Brada. And number 23, Maddie Atwood. The head coach for Waukee is James Brook. He's assisted by Katie Moore, Sydney Huyer, Maddie Alvarado, and Evan Lady. The officials for today's match, the referee is Mike Luke. The assistant referees are Matt Wolf and Ernesto Garcia. Our fourth official today is Cassidy Moulton. Congratulations to both teams. Let's play championship soccer.
We are all set to go here at Lead Recreational Complex here on the campus of Iowa State University. Here in Ames, Iowa, a hot day for state soccer, but state soccer nonetheless. Blake Walker, Thomas Campbell with you here. We're going to have a about 2-3 minute mandatory break every 10 minutes for hydration. That kind of plays into maybe a couple things for both these two teams because you're kind of playing in 10-minute increments. And then you get a chance to regroup, and you kind of get a timeout in a way for a coach to be like, all right, here's what we learned in this group. Let's go back at it. Is that not an advantage probably for both teams?
Yeah, I think it definitely is, and I think obviously definitely good for the safety aspect of it. But, you know, I think you can look at it in positive lights for both teams. I think if you're Bettendorf, that really gives you the chance to just attack for 10 minutes, knowing you get a break, knowing that it's not just playing for 40 minutes straight. And I think if you're Waukee, it's kind of okay, we only have to weather pressure for 10 minutes. You know, we have some flexibility with what we want to do as a team, knowing that we don't have to sit back all 40 without a break in there. And it also gives Waukee maybe the chance to get forward a little bit more than they like to. But again, I think there are a lot of circumstances today that both these teams are really going to have to fight through that they're just not used to. And I think the grass is a really big one. When you go from turf to grass, a few things happen. The grass is going to be a little bit more sticky. It's thicker. It's going to hold on to the ball a little more. And, you know, you saw it yesterday if you watched any of the games, but you'll see it today. You know, balls that you expect to roll out of bounds, they're not always going to. And if you can be first to the touchline there, you can create some chances off of what is, you know, akin to a blown coverage in football, where that's just not a mistake that you really make when you're playing on turf.
We're all set to go. Waukee in black, Bettendorf in white. Waukee will be headed to the left if you're watching on stream. Bettendorf will be headed to the right, headed onto your screen as we are underway in this Class 3A quarterfinal. Winner advances to play either Waukee Northwest or Dubuque Hempstead. Waukee 9-3-3 on the 2026 campaign. Bettendorf comes in 15-1-3. A lot of those ties / losses coming to out-of-state opponents for the Bulldogs. Waukee, on the other hand, one loss to Lincoln Puis out of state, and then a loss to Ankeny Centennial. Throw that in there as well. A tie to Pleasant Valley, a loss to Valley. But not losing games by much, Thomas. That's the thing. Those games are close margins, whereas you get to the state tournament, those margin for error, that's little, but you take playing in close games.
Absolutely, and I think that's a testament to the way that Waukee plays. You know, you're not going to see a lot of teams blow Waukee out with a low block that they play. It's very tough to score on them, and that shows. They've only given up 7 goals all year.
Runaway here for the Warriors, trying to get this thing in the front as that one somehow goes in. Sydney Burrier somehow, some way puts it right over top of the goalkeeper's head. Riley Sweetland just had to watch it sail. Take a look at the replay, Thomas. The wind might have given her a little bit of help.
Yeah, I think it definitely could have just flicked up, and that's not one that you really expect to, you know, just find its way perfectly beneath the bar in between the hand of the goalkeeper. And a dream start for Waukee, because I said it earlier, they like to score once and then they sit back. Now you've got your goal, you're 2 minutes in. It's a lot of pressure to sustain, but you're already playing the way that you want to.
That is Burrier's 6th goal of the season. Congratulations to her on the board here at the 2026 Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament. Now here comes Kaylin Stiles-Pena, trying to work her way to the goal, and jumping on top of it is the goalkeeper, Morgan Lowry. Lowry, no stats for goalkeeping, at least on bound or anything else, as we got a stoppage here. It's like the clock was never running. So make sure that gets set to what it's supposed to be. And at the day where the heat is the way it is, I don't think the players want to be out here any longer than they have to be.
No, a stoppage in play like that when it's sunny and you're just standing around is one of the worst things. And
so waiting for the clock to move down just a little bit. Now they got it at 38-13, so we'll adjust ours accordingly. That one's going to be booted back by Lowry, and here comes Waukee on the press again. Here's Emily Martin, the sophomore. Now gets it taken away by Josie Muehlhaupt. Muehlhaupt hits the turf, and it's cleared out. Is that enough to warrant a corner? Yes, it is. So a Channel Seeds corner kick coming up early. Corner kicks brought to you by Channel Seeds. The enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com. All right, Thomas, here we go. A chance for a corner kick. Waukee trying to really jump on top of things early here.
Yeah, and I think it's a massive opportunity that they're already putting pressure on Bettendorf.
That one goes long. It is corralled by Maddie Adams, and it's a short dribbler out in front of the goal, and Riley Sweetland hops on top of it. Riley's only allowed now 10 goals this season, 72 saves, 58% goal percentage of a saving here. It's now Bettendorf trying to get back down the field. Ball moving well. Both teams really going up and down the pitch so far. Hannah Powers, one of the defenders, comes up. Got a little bit of a collision there. No harm, no foul. As Josie Muehlhop tries to chase that thing into the corner, and Kelsey Smith comes up to get it for Bettendorf.
Yeah, I think Bettendorf just needs to settle down a little bit. They're playing very frantic. They need to control possession just a little bit more.
Hayden Byer tries to center. It's knocked out momentarily by Emily Martin of Bettendorf, and now the ball coming back our direction. Ooh, tough cramp or something here for Kaylin Stales Pena. And she is down limping here right now. I think she says she's fine, but it was really weird. She was just trying to defend off the Waukee player, and then, I don't know, something.
Might have gotten stepped on or
possibly cleated or
knee
something.
to the leg.
She says she's good, but she definitely is limping a little bit. So now a free kick here after the stoppage. Bettendorf ball. Trailing 1-0 in the early goings of this one.
You know, Bettendorf being down, I'd like to see them try to gradually move up the field more rather than just playing it long. This Waukee team is really tough to break down in the back, and those long balls just simply aren't going to do it today.
That one kicked out. Good effort that time by Haley Engels, and Engels will now throw in here on the near touchline. Up ahead, and that one bounces off the shoulder of Stills Pena. She looked like she was still limping for the most part, so still probably not 100% with whatever happened. Throw in here for the Bulldogs. They continue to battle on the touchline. Nobody's gone to get it yet. Now officially they call it out. And it stays with the Bulldogs over in the far corner. Waukee able to clear. Nice effort by Powers. Now center back almost momentarily. Couple headers thrown in. Here's a chance for the Bulldogs, and that one just misses off the leg of Caitlin Kingma. Kind of dropped in her lap and just kind of a weak dribbler up to the goalkeeper, Morgan Lowry.
Yeah, the effort has to be better from there. You're in a place where you should score 99 times out of 100 just outside the 6-yard box with only the goalie to beat.
Avery Williams on the back line for Bettendorf, skied that thing back up the pitch, but the Bulldogs couldn't get to it. Now Waukee will have a chance to throw in here and try to take it back the other direction. Here's Tori Bowenkamp. Sends it back up the pitch, and well corralled this time by Taylor Engels. As Bettendorf tries to get something moving offensively again. Here's Destiny Borland up the pitch, kind of in no man's land. A rare number 76, Olivia Snow, chases after. I don't think I've ever seen a 76 in soccer.
No, I don't think I have either.
There's got to be a story behind that.
I'd think so. You know, not a number you see too often at really any level of the game.
That one will go out and will stay or go back to Waukee. Good crowd on hand for both teams. Obviously a little bit longer of a drive for Bettendorf, but the Bulldog faithful have come out. Umbrellas and all, trying to stay protected from the sun today. Again, just 3 minutes away from our first break, mandatory break for hydration. That one's going to roll out, goes back to the Bulldogs.
And Bettendorf, they're possessing much better now. They're starting to get forward, and this is where they can create their chances. And I think if you're Bettendorf right now, you're saying, okay, we gave up an early goal, but it's only one. And we know that we are very well capable of scoring not only one, but putting a few on this team like we have all season. So I don't think you should be in panic mode whatsoever if you're Bettendorf.
That was almost a really cool play by Josie Mulehop. Just kind of missed that one as it bounces out past the touchline. Back and forth we go over there. Nobody can really get a good possession of it, as once again goes back out. This time it will stay with Bettendorf. He said it, but a little bit more, Bettendorf staying with the ball just a little bit longer here than Waukee has. Ball coming back to the near side to Styles Pena, as Lowry will come up and make the grab, as that one was kind of a lob shot. Lowry's ball caught up there in the middle by Addison Wolfel. Bettendorf went through the Iowa City gauntlet to get here to the state tournament, defeated Iowa City High 7-0, and then defeated Iowa City West 3-0. Again, state champions just 2 years ago. Trying to get back to that glory. That one kicks short. Again, you talk about the grass, Thomas. That I think we're seeing it right now. A couple players being like, that ball did not go as far as I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, and what it really is it's the skips. On turf, the ball will skip. It's going to hop on you. When you land it like that in grass, it's just going to die. You're not going to see as much bounce.
This one knocked out here right along the scorer's table. Everybody protect your water bottles. Bettendorf will get a throw in here with Emily Martin. Again, knocked out. Back our direction. They're just beating us up over here.
Yeah, and I think, if you're Waukee, you're kind of telling yourself, hold on for another minute maybe. Not even, and you're going to get yourself a nice little break.
We haven't seen any subs in the first 10 minutes. So, that might be just a strategic thing. If you can go 10 minutes, just go 10 minutes, and then we'll do our subbing when it matters. As we got 20 seconds to go here, at least till we get to the 10-minute mark. We'll see how on top of things to the minute, if they decide to do it. Ball still fought for, now going to be kicked out of bounds. We'll see if that will be the break, and it is. So 10 minutes gone by. Waukee leads 1-0 over Bettendorf. We'll take a break for hydration. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament. Blake Walker, Thomas Campbell with you here. 1-0. Waukee leads over Bettendorf as we are out of the first hydration break due to high heats here at the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament. Waukee leading. No substitutions for both teams in those first 10 minutes and after the hydration break. Does that surprise you a little bit?
I think a little bit, but I also think, they're probably happy with the groups that have been out on the field and what they've put together. Waukee obviously with the goal, and then Bettendorf has done better in the last few minutes creating chances. And so I think given they got the break, they don't feel the need for substitutions at the moment.
Hard collision. Foul is called. Josie Muehlhop goes down to the grass. Has tough go to get to the ball. And got a injury timeout here. I think we got a bloody nose. Or no, never mind. We got a yellow card.
Yellow card for earrings.
Earrings.
Yeah, that is a rule, no jewelry in soccer.
Yep. Well, he said nose, and then, he meant ears. So a yellow card is assessed for jewelry. It's a rare one. I don't see it very often, but it does happen. Now here's your free kick for Waukee. Going back the other way. Wasn't a bad kick, but Bettendorf's able to clear it momentarily.
Yeah, I think really well done from Bettendorf to be first to that ball. It definitely was in a danger area, and if you're late to that by even a step, you could be 2-0 down.
Muehlhop trying to work her way through traffic, but then skies that thing over to the far touchline. Hayden Byers going to get it, but it's just not going to get there. And the Bulldogs will take it back on the other side. There's Muehlhop again, tries to work her way to the center, but nobody's home, and jumping on top of it is Riley Sweetland, making a quick effort to get there. Waukee backline making its way up forward. Maddie Atwood sends that thing to the stands. Definitely feels like Waukee just not as much on the offensive side. Bettendorf has been able to settle down, like you said, since that first goal, as we do have our first IMT insurance substitution coming in. Isabel Sheave coming in, the freshman. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com.
I think with Bettendorf creating more chances, Waukee's probably going to start to sub more because, absorbing pressure is a very, very thin line of doing what you want if you're a more defensively based team like Waukee versus just allowing a team to keep you in your own half, which eventually leads to a goal.
Waukee checking again with the head official here, one of the officials asking if there was that time limit for yellow cards. That is not a thing this year. That is a rule that was in the past, so you don't have to wait a certain time if you have a yellow card. So it looks like Carson Gerleman is going to be the one to sub back in, along with number 12, Sadie Hardung, also checking back in. So fresh legs back out on the pitch with just over 26 minutes to go. In the first period, it's a goal kick upcoming for Bettendorf and Emily Martin, the sophomore.
Definitely have to be careful with Gerleman now, already with what can only be described as a silly yellow card, not a mistake that you want to make.
There's a good boot back down the field. Styles Pena going after it. She does get ahead, gets around one. Here's Styles Pena still working her way through traffic. Down she goes, and we're going to have a penalty shot upcoming.
Yeah, it looked like Powers might have gotten to the ball first, but just a dangerous tackle to make down there in the box. Yeah, not a ton of contact, but definitely
not a ton,
enough that
Hannah Powers was the one who is in on it. So now a chance for a goal kick, or excuse me, for a penalty kick here for Bettendorf. as it is not going to be Pena is going to be the one to take it. It's 21, yeah, Haley Angles is the one to take it.
Surprised not to see Pena take it as the leading scorer for this
that
Bulldogs
leg,
team.
You know, she was limping a little bit. Maybe. Here's Angles. Skies it high. And Waukee gets away with one.
Yeah, definitely not a mistake that you want to make, just knowing that you've already given up a goal that you feel that you shouldn't have, and you're playing against a team that doesn't allow many chances.
Bettendorf came into today 2 of 2 on the season for penalty kicks, but this is the state tournament. Anything can happen at the state tournament. That is their first PK miss of the year. Waukee, by the way, has not attempted a PK all season long. Warriors on the run out. Hayden Byer sends it to the middle to Tori Bowenkamp. And it's going to bounce right to the goal. And it's going to be a corner kick. Channel Seeds corner kick upcoming for Waukee. It's been the story of slight mistakes for Bettendorf here earlier. We talked about the yellow card, or Waukee the yellow card, I guess, but just a couple back and forth. You give up that early goal and then the missed PK. Now here comes a corner kick upcoming by the Warriors. Whole lot of movement. Stella Braddock tried to get in there and get a possible header. Now here comes a shot that just drops into the lap of Riley Sweetland. That lined up perfectly for Hannah Powers, and she just couldn't find it.
Yeah, just maybe not quite enough power on that, but, you know, you mentioned it, just a few mistakes from Bettendorf when they've largely been the more attacking team in the first 15. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
Strong battle that time by Harnung as she was trying to get to the ball and keep pushing it down the pitch, but Waukee recovers well as they fight for it in the middle. Out it goes, stays with the Bulldogs. Emily Martin sends that thing back up the field. Good header that time by Braddock, one of the captains of this team. Bettendorf looking for a breakaway. Tried to get it that time to Olivia Snow. And a foul is going to be called on Emily Martin. Carson Gerleman on the receiving end of that one. Looks like a couple substitutions close to subbing in here. Bruce set to check in along with Adams and Ransom. Ball trickles back to the goalkeeper, and Riley Sweetland hops on top of it. Foul called in the middle. It will stay with Bettendorf as they try to push it back down the field. 23.5 to go here in the first half. Again, a couple minutes away from a hydration break. In this Class 3A quarterfinal, Waukee and Bettendorf. Winner awaits the winner of Waukee Northwest and Dubuque Hempstead. Another player down right there in the center. Can't quite tell who that is over there as time is called. I believe it is going to be number 6, Avery Williams, is the one who was down. She's able to hop back up on her own power. So free kick, not a bad free kick opportunity as Lowry comes up and makes the play. Play by Morgan, and it'll be a goal kick here for Waukee. I don't know if it's the wind or what, but a lot of good legs underneath the ball here. Solid kicks that have been cleared back down the field by both teams.
Yeah, both teams are preferring to play long, which, you know, in this heat would obviously be the preferred choice. It's a lot less movement. It's not as quick. I don't think that's going to be the case for Bettendorf if they want to get it done, just because of how big Waukee is in the back and how hard it is to break them down.
Comes a boot to our near side, and coming up to get it is Hannah Powers, but Olivia Snow jumps in front. Here comes Snow with the run out. Gives herself a little bit of space, tries to center to the middle, but it's just behind Styles Pena. Again, they try to get to the Snow, and it's cleared out by Powers. Another good center that time by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, if they can keep playing those crosses in, they've had chances. They're just going to find more of them.
Throw in from the far corner for Bettendorf. That one's going to be knocked off of Powers, so a Channel Seeds corner kick up coming for Bettendorf, and I believe that is the first one of the day for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it will be in another massive opportunity. Their crosses have been good. You know, they definitely have a big chance to tie this one up, and they've had a lot of big chances. They just have to capitalize.
Here's Haley Engels on the kick. Styles Pena dropped it in front, but a little bit awkward off her leg. And up to go get it is Morgan Lowry, and Waukee holds strong defensively. Right idea. Styles Pena just didn't get to it in the position that she wanted. Lowry uses her leg, boots it back up the pitch. That one's going to get behind a couple, but Sweetland's going to come up and make the grab. From goalkeeper to goalkeeper.
And approaching that next hydration break.
Yeah, coming down just a couple minutes or a couple more seconds left. Ball stuck in the midfield, now kicked ahead. Stella Braddock's there to recover it.
And Waukee's had some subs waiting for a while, just haven't had a stoppage of play to get them in until now.
They try to keep it, they try to keep it that the momentum doesn't shift, doesn't slow anything down. There goes your water break. So the break is going to happen here. Still 1-0. Waukee leads over Bettendorf. We'll be back. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Halfway through the first half here at this Class 3A quarterfinal at the 2026 Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. 4-seeded Waukee leads 5-seeded Bettendorf. 1-0 is your score. Waukee scored in the early portions in the first 5 minutes exactly. But nothing since. A lot of back and forth. Bettendorf missed a PK a little bit ago, and that's really been all she wrote so far. But here comes a push by the Bulldogs. Olivia Snow just couldn't quite find it.
A big opportunity missed there for the Bulldogs. You're on the counter. Waukee's not in their low defensive block because of how many players got forward. You've got to be able to make that through ball.
Nice boot up the field. Here's Mulehop trying to get backwards, but Martin clears back up the field to Snow for Bettendorf. Another ball kind of works its way back up the field, and Sweetland hops on top of it. I don't know. Yep, Waukee did get their substitutions in that they were going to put in before the half. Cruz, one of those. Ansley Ransom also out on the field now. Good clear up the pitch by Addison Wolfell. And now Olivia Snow trying to get free again, but Morgan Lowry once again, though, on top of it.
Lowry's done a really good job today of being alert, coming off her line, and then just being there for when those through balls do make their way through.
Boy, she has got a leg, too. Really good getting it back down the pitch. Ball will sit down in the middle. Kick back up. Maddie Atwood trying to send this thing ahead. Here comes Mulehop. Mulehop trying to get ahead. Mulehop with the left. Tries to get to the right to his possible center, but it backs itself up. Mulehop again with it right in front of the goal, trying to get through defenders. Fires on goal and just misses to the right. Well, the first time, unselfish. That time she was like, I think I got to try myself. Just couldn't quite find the goal.
Yeah, and still some really good play from Mulehop there. First playing it back across, but then, you know, I really like this look at it. The goalkeeper screened there. Just hard to find that bottom corner.
Sweetland was on her toes, ready for it whenever it came her way. Another chance. That one, though, drills the back of Carson Gerleman. We got two players stuck on the ground together. Waukee D able to jump up and knock that one ahead. Is that going to be enough for a corner? Nope, goal kick. This time it looks like it's going to be Taylor Engels, the freshman, going to take this one for Bettendorf out of the back. As we continue to wind down here on the first half, Waukee leads 1-0 over Bettendorf in this 4-5 matchup. Possible handball, didn't get called. Booted up ahead. Here comes the speedy Sadie Harnung, really working her way up the pitch, but Waukee well recovered. Ever since that break, Thomas, now Waukee a little bit better on the offensive end, kind of tightening things down. Bettendorf hasn't had as many opportunities as I say that. Here comes Martin. Warriors try to clear this thing back down the field. And you talked about it, only 7 goals given up this season for Waukee. This is a defending side that prides themselves on not getting many goals past them.
Yeah, and they're a stout defense. They're physical. They're going to get in the way of passes. They're not really scared to get hit by a driven ball, and that's just what's going to have to be the case against this Bettendorf offense today.
And one of those people that's really doing it is Stella Braddock, getting her way up the pitch, doing all she can as she sends this one up ahead to the forwards. Olivia Snow trying to get ahead, but well covered again. Hannah Powers doing a really nice job on the back end by Waukee. Another run up ahead for Kaylin Stiles Pena. Morgan Lowry comes up and makes the play. Bulldogs come up empty again here on the offensive side. That PK might loom quite large in a game like this.
Yeah, and I just don't think Bettendorf is throwing enough players forward to beat this low block of Waukee. They're kind of just sending it deep, hoping Pena can do something. You know, obviously being the leading scorer on the team, they expect a certain level from her, but it's just hard for 1 or 2 players to break down this Waukee team.
Mulehop gave it all she had off the left leg and just sails over top of the goal. Riley Sweetland was probably getting flashbacks. You see, look at the replay. This is a perfectly placed ball, but just a little high.
Yeah, very similar shot to the one that did end up getting the goal for Waukee.
So Ransom checks out for Waukee. A couple IMT insurance substitutions. Bettendorf trying to get up the field, but that one just a little too far out of reach for Stiles Pena. And Waukee gets to boot it back the other way off the strong leg of Morgan Lowry. Martin, foul called.
Nothing egregious there, just a physical play.
Staying aggressive. So free kick here for the Warriors with 13:50 to go here in the first period. They lead 1-0. Over on field number 2, Waukee Northwest leads 2-0 over Dubuque Hempstead, as that game is sitting at halftime. Muehlhop off the run, got around one, and scores. Josie Muehlhop, the senior captain, puts it in the net. Goal number 2 for Waukee on the day, and she did it all herself, Thomas.
Yeah, first just a great ball played in, but then Muehlhop, splits the Bettendorf defense. Just you got to have better communication there. You can't allow a forward to go in between the two center backs. And a massive insurance goal for Waukee. For a team that only has given up 7 goals a year on the year, a 2-goal lead feels incredibly large. And again, I think that penalty kick is just going to continue to haunt Bettendorf.
That is Muehlhop's 12th goal of 2026. Morgan Lowry got it knocked back, then off the deflection of Olivia Snow, it's going to go out, and it's going to be a corner. That was almost a disaster for Waukee.
Yeah, Lowry back there makes a nice save on the second effort, but, definitely nearly a disaster. Lucky that one didn't go in. That's one of those ones where you're on turf. That's going to skip a lot faster.
So now a corner kick for Bettendorf. A Channel Seeds corner kick. Kick on the way, a little bit higher, and clears everybody. Waukee is the beneficiary. Evie Cruz works it up the pitch to Tori Bowenkamp. Now Cruz going to chase after it. She's going up against Kelsey Smith, the Bettendorf. Smith sends it back up to at least stall the progression.
Yeah, Bettendorf doing a good job to get back with Waukee on the break there, and really can't afford to give up a third goal.
Yeah, they could have really loved that, one right there that they almost got in with Olivia Snow. Get this thing back to a one-score game, but I'm with you. The way Waukee's defense has played all season long, this is just not what you want to see if you're a Bulldog fan. But still, a long way to go. This is a talented Bulldog team. Bettendorf has gotten through the gauntlet of a season this year. Got a foul blown on Bettendorf, so it's a Waukee free kick, and not that bad of a spot.
No, I think, you've got the wind with you. This is a really nice chance to lift it up and let one of your attackers run onto it, or even, maybe try to put it right under the crossbar. That's a very tough save to make.
Stella Braddock sends this one on the way, and it misses out to the right. Had the power, didn't have the direction. Coach James Brook looking for an explanation on something from the head official. Might be that previous foul call. Closing in on the 10-minute mark, and one more break in this first half for hydration. There's a boot up ahead. This is going to be dangerous here for Waukee, and a foul on Snow.
Yeah, just slightly too physical there. I saw a little bit of an extension of the arms, and if not recommended to commit fouls around the other team's box when you're trying to come back, and especially come back on a team that's only given up 2 goals in a game once all season.
Water break it is with 10:30 to go here left in the first half. It is Waukee on top of Bettendorf. 2-0 is your score. We'll be back. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament on the Girls Unit Digital Network.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament. Blake Walker, Thomas Campbell with you here. Waukee leads over 5th seeded Bettendorf. Waukee ranked 4th in the rankings coming into, or seeded 4th coming in. 2-0 is your score. 10:30 to go here in the first half. Coming off another hydration break, again happening every 10 minutes. Today with heat index north of 90. Back and forth we go here. As a lot of battling in the midfield position. Couple scores. Sydney Burrier with a score early, and then Josie Muehlhop with the goal just a little bit ago. Has Waukee up 2-0 and feeling confident right now, Thomas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're Bettendorf, you should be, pushing everything you've got in the last 10 minutes of this half, knowing you've got a lengthy halftime break, and being down 1 going into the second half is so much of a better spot against Waukee than being down 2. Because if you're down 2 and going into that second half, you can expect, just a low block the entire 40, and it's going to be really tough to break through that and find 2 of them. So I think, I'm not saying throw all 10 players up there towards the box, but I'm also not saying to not do that. Definitely need a goal if you're Bettendorf.
And they've had a couple good opportunities. Obviously the PK, but they've had a couple solid shot on goal chances. Olivia Snow, who's with it here, she's had her fair chances. It's just a matter of completing it as she continues to work on Libby Adams. Now backs this one up to Martin. Martin, though, hesitated just a little bit and gets it blocked.
Yeah, I think Bettendorf, arguably thinks that they should probably be tied in this game.
In a way, yeah. The opportunities, they give them 2 really good opportunities that they want back. Push over on the far side by Taylor Ingalls, as this one's tried to be centered to the middle. Olivia Martin, who's kind of been doing everything, or Emily Martin, excuse me, who's been doing everything. Waukee with the chance to push on the far side. Here goes Burrier. Kicks it a little too far ahead, though, and it looks like Bettendorf's going to try to get this thing out. And it stays with Waukee on the far touchline for a throw-in.
There's an adage in soccer, win the first 5, win the last 5 in each half. Waukee won the first 5. If they find a way to win the second 5, this game isn't over, but it will be well in their control.
in Bettendorf's losses this year, which aren't many, it's only one, they gave up just 1 goal. So not used to obviously being behind this much in a game where they can come back and possibly win. So kind of a new territory for this team. Also, you know, welcome to the CIML. They haven't played a CIML team all season long. Obviously, the way that you're set up geographically will help into that, but got a handball in a tough spot for a handball, Thomas.
Yeah, and that's just one of those, another unfortunate mistake where, you know, it's not really intentional, but you got the arm out wide. It is a clear and day by the book handball, but to give it up in a spot like that, you know, Waukee has the chance to absolutely bury Bettendorf right now if they find a way to find a third off this.
It's Tori Bowenkamp's going to be the one to kick this for the Warriors as they're trying to get the Bettendorf defense line pushed back a little bit. Again, the wind is at Tori's back here. See how she wants to go about this. She's got a couple here on the left to possibly work with her as well. Here we go. Bowenkamp on the way, hits the top of the crossbar. Bowenkamp then gets right back to it. Here's Cruz as well, and there's a handball for Waukee.
Yeah, great free kick opportunity, just couldn't quite get it to dip.
It's about as close as you can get here that time for Tori. Just off the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, still very well played.
Bettendorf trying to push this thing back down the pitch. It is cleared out. Nicely done by Stella Braddock. As now Bettendorf trying to push a little bit further here on the far side. As here come IMT Insurance substitutions. Josie Mulehop back into the match. Addison Wolfel is in for Bettendorf along with Ansley Ransom, and it looks like Carson Gerleman also back in for Waukee.
Yeah, and I think the decision to put Mulehop back in with 5 minutes to play is really well done by head coach James Brook. I think that, you know, Mulehop is such a dynamic player. She's already got one. She probably feels like she can get a second one with the way that she's been playing. And again, it's win the first 5, win the last 5. If you can find a third in these last 5 minutes, you've almost booked your ticket into the semifinals.
Free kick here for Stella Braddock. Sends that one back up the pitch. A little too far, though, with the wind. I think the wind is helping a lot of these girls. Like, there is a wind gust today. You can see it in the trees, maybe on our camera. You see it on the flags that are on the grandstands. So it's not like a dead, dry Arizona heat.
No, it's windy. It's definitely sticky. A lot of humidity out here today, but that wind is absolutely playing a factor,
yes.
I think, with Bettendorf trying to go deep most times.
Styles Pena trying to work ahead, but pushing in front is Hannah Powers. How about Powers trying to get ahead? A little bit of contact. We play on. Pena gets around one. Tries to center to the middle. No one's home. Here comes Olivia Snow to try to clean up. Snow just can't turn it. She's guarded well by Maddie Adams. That was really well done by Waukee. Here comes another one as Pena. He'll let that one go a little bit farther. And Waukee clears.
I think if you're Bettendorf, you have to be first to that ball. I mean, it was really well by Styles Pena to set you up in that position. But it's not as if Waukee really flew to the ball. They let it come in. If you're Bettendorf, that run's got to be aggressive towards the net, and you have to be first to the ball.
Josie Mulehop tried to get it up ahead to her teammate. Now here comes Gerleman. Backs this one up to Libby Adams. Mulehop working her way through traffic here. And a foul on Mulehop as she's got a collision with Kelsey Smith. So that stops that progression on offense. And Emily Martin sends it back the other way. (3-0) over on field number 1. Waukee Northwest extends their lead over to Butte Hempstead. The winner of this game plays the winner of that one, so a chance for a Waukee Northwest duel. We get a crosstown duel next, Ankeny and Ankeny Centennial.
Should be a good one.
Should be. Centennial won the first match this season. Martin tries to sky that thing to the middle, but nobody's home for Bettendorf. Ball stays down in the middle. Time running out here on the first half, as here comes a runaway chance for Sadie Harnung. Harnung tried to get it ahead and dropping in and a goal. Naya Drish of Bettendorf barely sneaks it in on the left goal post.
Just crucial there for the Bulldogs that you managed to find yourself a goal in the last 5 of the half.
You're going to see it. It just barely sneaks past, and Lowry, I think she thought maybe the two teammates that were there might have been able to get there. But the sophomore, Naya Drish, puts it in for her first goal of 2026.
And what a time for it when your team is in need. And we've got a game again. It feels like Bettendorf's finally found that breakthrough. That was a really good ball to split the defenders. And I'm assuming the feeling from that team is now, well, we've got one. We can absolutely go get two.
Absolutely. That is just the 8th goal given up this season for Waukee. Pretty incredible. So closing in on the end of the first half, you talked about winning the first 5, last 5. I'd say Bettendorf's done their job here. They'd love to maybe get one more, or Waukee would like to get another. Again, Waukee should feel comfortable about playing with a lead that's 2-1, but 2-0 feels a lot better than 2-1. As Gerleman backs this one up to Braddock. And Martin sends it back the other direction. Gerleman stops and moves this one upfield to Mulehopt, who is going to survey her options here. Josie going to try to do it herself. Centers to the middle, and it's just knocked up in the air by Ransom and caught by Sweetland. 45 seconds to go here in the first period as Sweetland sends it back the other way. Bettendorf gets the wind in the second half. Might be worth noting.
Yeah, I think with the way that they're trying to play, it absolutely is. The thing that you can do when you've got the wind, but you're also playing grass, you can lift it, let the wind carry it a little bit more, knowing that it's not going to skip, and you might be able to get it to stop up a little better for your runners.
Header down right in front of us with Hannah Powers. 15 seconds to go. That one's going to back up. I think everybody's getting pretty tired here, but can't give up yet. Harnung sends it ahead, trying to get the bounce that she wants, but it is cleared out. Nicely done by Maddie Atwood, and the clock hit 0. Halftime here in this Class 3A quarterfinal. Waukee leads over Bettendorf 2-1 is your score. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are more
multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need.
Yeah! Fairway, it's the one you need.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Life's buzzing with energy, from the delightfully routine to the novel and exciting to the truly uncharted. With all that life brings, it's easy to lose track of what powers all those moments, our health. At Mercy One, our caring doctors focus on just that, powering health, from the everyday to the extraordinary. So you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
We hope you're enjoying all the great competition you're seeing here today. At the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we're grateful for the incredible support that makes this event possible. None more vital or valued than the proud title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau. With me here today is Brent Johnson, president of the Iowa Farm Bureau, to explain why their organization invests in and supports the Girls Union.
Thanks, Aaron. The Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for more than 2 decades now. The athletes competing here today represent the very best of our nation's student athletes, driven, dedicated, and committed to teamwork. At the Iowa Farm Bureau, we share those same values. Our farmers lead the nation not only in the production of corn, hogs, eggs, and ethanol, but also in the implementation of a number of innovative soil and water conservation practices which hold soil in place and reduce runoff. These shared values unite Iowa's student athletes and farm families, and our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the perfect opportunity to celebrate that commitment to excellence statewide.
Thank you, Brent. We appreciate the Iowa Farm Bureau's ongoing support and the role you play in helping Iowa's girls shine.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Oh.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament here on the campus of Iowa State University here in Ames, Iowa at the Lead Recreational Complex. Field number 2 for this Class 3A quarterfinal. Waukee, the 4-seed, leads 5-seeded Bettendorf 2-1. Blake Walker, Thomas Campbell with you here. 2 goals for Waukee, one coming from Josie Mulehop late in the going, and Sydney Burrier got us started in the first 5 minutes, but then on the other end, Nia Drish, the sophomore, with her first goal of the season, gets Bettendorf back within 1. Been a fun one so far, Thomas. It's probably going to come right down to it as these teams continue to battle the heat and tough conditions.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that goal in the last 5 minutes of the half for Bettendorf is such a momentum builder. The game really hadn't gone in their way in anything. They missed the penalty. They had a bunch of missed chances. And being able to get one on the board and kind of keep yourself in it going into the second half, it builds the momentum to come off after the half and say, all right, we're playing just fine. We'll find our second one. And, you know, if this had been a 2-0 game, I think I would have said you just basically sue for extra time. You just try to score 2 because you're probably not putting 3 past Waukee in one half. Now that you have the opportunity, obviously you first have to go tie it, but you do have the chance to win this in regulation if you are Bettendorf. And I think if you're Waukee, you did sustain a lot of pressure in that first half. You did a good job of it, but you probably want to throw a little bit back now that you don't have your insurance goal.
Taking a look at some of the brackets yesterday, this is our only class today. Class 1A and 2A played yesterday. Denver will play St. Albert's Thursday at noon here on field number 1. Applington Parkersburg upset Davenport Assumption in overtime in one of the bigger upsets of the tournament. They will take on Hudson. In Class 2A, Norwalk took care of business against Lewis Central. They will face North Scott. North Polk defeated Waverly Shell Rock in another 7-2 upset. The Comets will take on Dallas Center Grimes in the Thursday semifinal. That's at 2:45 over on field number 2. Waukee Northwest leads Dubuque Hempstead 3-0 over on field number 1. Currently, they await the winner of this game, Waukee and Bettendorf. Then after that, Valley will take on Linn-Mar on field number 1. And here on field number 2, we will have Ankeny Centennial taking on crosstown rival Ankeny. The winner of that game will play Thursday at 5:15. It's going to be a long day here on Thursday, but a shorter day here today. Not a bad day to have a short day, Thomas. I don't know. They must have just knew it was going to be pretty warm.
Yeah, I think it's a very good thing that you don't have games going too late into the afternoon. You know, you'll catch some of the hottest part of the day towards the end of that Centennial Ankeny game.
Yeah,
but
that's going to be the hottest.
It's definitely good that you don't have games going right up until the sun goes down where you're really feeling all the heat. But back to the focus on this one, I think, you know, the breeze is almost picked up a little bit.
Helping, yes.
Definitely helping. And if you're Bettendorf, you've got the win now. You kind of have the opportunity to play more in the style that you've wanted to play all day.
Cloud cover also starting to show up just a little bit. That's a good sign for these players. So currently in partly cloudy skies. We switch sides. Bettendorf's headed to your left. Waukee's headed to your right. 2-1 is your score. The winner headed off to the Class 3A semifinals. This one's knocked ahead momentarily, and clearing out is Maddie Adams as Bettendorf trying to get off to a quick start here.
Yeah, and Bettendorf right on the gas pedal, and that's what I think you like to see if you're the Bulldogs. You know that you still have to find one. This Waukee team's tough to break down, and you'd love to get it in the first 10 if you can.
Here's Olivia Snow with the left and skies this one high up over the goal. Boy, Olivia's been knocking on the door today. We just haven't seen a ton of Kaylin Stiles-Pena. Here's a look at the replay. She kind of got either cleated or something in the early portion. I don't know. She's just kind of haven't been off on what she usually is. Here's Snow's chance. Just over top of the goal.
Yeah, and a tough angle there. I don't hate the shot just because you do have the momentum. You're trying to find that second goal, but I think that's one likely where you probably want to play that back across for a better angle.
Waukee trying to clear this one back up the pitch. Kinley Street trying to get it to Josie Mulehop. Mulehop trying to get free, but Avery Williams doing a really nice job. We got a foul called on Waukee. It'll be Bettendorf ball. They're going to back this one up just a little bit for Taylor Ingalls to kick this one back the other way. I know obviously we've got 3 goals combined, but I've been pretty impressed by the goalkeeping today by Lowry and Sweetland. I think they have done a phenomenal job today.
Yeah, they've both made some big saves. I think Lowry's done a really good job of being aggressive, getting off her line, and I think Sweetland has recovered really well from giving up that early goal.
Kick up here this near side. Now it's going to be a throw in here for the Warriors. Try to take it back the other way. Both Waukee and Bettendorf faithful out in full force. I'd say there might be more Bettendorf fans here than there is Waukee.
Yeah, sidelines are also dotted. You know, that's one of the things playing in rec field feels a little bit like playing youth soccer again. And
You're just right
with
up
all the lawn
alongside.
chairs. You know, different from the stadiums that you see normally for high school.
And they are very impressive stadiums. They just keep getting better. Again, spoiled with those turf fields.
Waukee recently putting in a new turf field as well.
5-0 is the score over there on field number 2. Waukee Northwest continuing to extend their lead over Dubuque Hempstead. Yeah, beautiful new field over there at Waukee. They've been redoing everything. Baseball, softball field, a beautiful new theater put into the Waukee High School.
I think a new track as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been sharing fields with Waukee Northwest, I think, for a couple times in a couple sports this fall or this spring, track and field. Josie Mulehop trying to get upfield. There's a little bit of a collision. Josie is down. She took a tough hit, and she's holding her head.
Surprised the play has not been blown yet.
She is still down on the field. They're trying to keep it. They're going to let them keep going because of the momentum for Olivia Snow. Now, nope, still not going. Mulehop is up on her feet, but she was holding her head, so I don't know if they're going to want to try concussion protocol or something. She is tired.
Yeah.
They're going to let that one drop back to Sweetland. Still walking towards us. Boy, she's tough. She hasn't motioned to come out of the ball game, so. Olivia Snow trying to get free. Here's Snow with the left. Got it tagged last second and kicked out by Stella Braddock. I don't know if it was Braddock who had the initial hit.
Yeah, it looks like Braddock was there, and really good job because, you know, that's just such a wide net when you're coming in from that angle.
It was, yeah, it was Braddock. So here comes a corner, Channel Seeds corner kick by Bettendorf. These corner kicks haven't been too bad today. This one on a line, headed out by Braddock. Stella is tall, and that really helps Stella. A couple of people thought maybe there was a foul in there. Waukee just trying to get this thing clear as Avery Williams up to try to contest. But back up the pitch it goes. Here's Engels. Sends this one to the other side with Stiles Pena. Stiles Pena working her way to the goal. And a big collision, no call. That ball's still kind of working its way around on the far side of the box. They try to center it again, but Waukee clears it back.
Yeah, and Waukee really absorbing a lot of pressure right now. You know, Bettendorf with the win has really been able to throw whatever they want to at the Warriors.
Time is called. We got a injury down there for Waukee on the far side. I cannot tell who that is over there, but quick break for injury. It is number 7, Libby Adams is the one down. They kept things rolling with Mulehop when she was down, and it seems like Josie's fine. As trainer's going to come out and take a look at Libby Adams.
Keeping weight off that left leg.
Kind of just favoring that. Shout out to the trainer who's got all black on. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, hot day to do that.
That's
Very
what we were
hot
saying
day.
coming in. Waukee, of all the days to wear all black.
Today, certainly a choice.
Yeah. So she'll be walking off with the trainer here. Slowly but surely going to take her time. Gives everybody else a chance to kind of take a break. I tell you what, the goalies also in the same way, the stoppage is fine, but they kind of like moving around. I look at Riley Sweetland, who's all the way back there in the goal. She's just sitting, almost sitting, trying to stay cool in her own, but when she's just kind of baking in the sun.
Yeah, and everything just gets a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
The more you stand around.
And it is. It's going to get hotter here as we continue to roll on. That Ankeny Centennial Day game is in the heat of the day. So a very light little walk back for Libby Adams here. As they'll get her looked at as Morgan Lowry's going to kick this one back the other way. Bettendorf on a run out. Now going to try to send it back up the field. Braddock says no to that one. Now trying to get ahead, but up in front is Engels. Engels up ahead to Haley Engels. Haley turns to the middle. Olivia Snow puts it in. We're tied at 2.
And it has been coming for Olivia Snow. And that's the thing is Bettendorf grabbed the momentum, and they've been pushing now the entire first 6 minutes of this half.
From Engels to Snow. Look at this center. Perfect.
Just out of the reach of Morgan Lowry. Not a ton more that she could have done there.
Everything that we thought we knew about these two teams coming in and the statistics and the trends, throw it out the window. Josie Muehlhop having a chat with the team over there. I think just, the miscommunication that was there for Waukee. She felt like they just didn't really communicate there that well. And what turned into a 2-0 ball game is now 2-2. And you talked about it, Thomas. You could argue Bettendorf's maybe left 2 other goals on the board.
Absolutely. I think if you're Waukee, you got to get back to what you were doing in the first half that found those 2 goals. Especially that it's tied. If you're Waukee, you don't just want to sit back, absorb pressure, and hope for extra time or even penalties. I think you have to try and get some more players forward.
Muehlhop trying to get forward. Again, she takes a tough hit down to the grass. They try to get this one again centered, and it's cleared out. Nicely done by Taylor Engels. Well, all the momentum that's possible is now with Bettendorf. Waukee's going to have to find something here.
And they need to reorganize. There needs to be some communication. Saw 2 players run into each other on that header. You've got to find a way to get back into your comfort zone when you do give up 2 goals like that. Bettendorf did a really good job of it. Come back. Waukee now also has to resettle.
Sweetland comes up and makes the play on kind of just a awkward lob shot. Bettendorf trying to get running again with Engels and Snow. Engels hits the turf, no call. A little bit of contact there with Isabel Sheave. Boy, Bettendorf looks like they have kicked up a gear here. As that one rolls out, will stay. Nope, who's it going to go to? It's going to go to Waukee. Waukee ball off the throw-in. This one booted back up by Engels all the way up to Lowry. Lowry will make the catch and send it back the other way. Waukee only gave up 7 goals coming into today's match. They've given up 2 here in this one. There's a really nice header, but Waukee just doesn't have anyone back. Hayden Byer is the only one in the vicinity. She hits the turf here. Goes out, will stay with Bettendorf, I believe. IMT Insurance substitution coming in. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Olivia Anderson checks in for Destiny Borland. kicked out. Waukee ball.
Waukee really starting to grow back into this game since that second goal. I think they will gladly take the water break to rediscuss some of the things.
Yeah, you'll take the free timeout pretty much. More throw-ins here on the far side. And again, it stays with Waukee. We're pushing corner kick territory in just a little bit. Again, wind blowing to the left side of your screen here when they're looking at it straight on. So favoring Bettendorf. Here's a turn and fire to the goal. A chance for a possible down as the goalie hits the ground. Streetland hits the ground, and it's going to be a PK.
I think that's the right decision from the official there. I don't think that Sweetland got to the ball.
It was almost a trip. Yeah, it was almost a trip while going after the ball. There.
Yeah, no ball. Burrier definitely got to that one first.
Wow. All right, just like that. It is a PK upcoming. Bettendorf trying to argue their case. It's not going to matter.
No, the call was made. The call was, I
it's
think,
not going
right.
to be changed. Yeah. So they're going to give it to their star, Josie Muehlhop. I literally had just said they hadn't attempted a PK all year, and they haven't. So this is a new one for Waukee, as Muehlhop will try to give them back the lead. Muehlhop, already a goal earlier today. Blocked!
You know, phenomenal save by Sweetland. And the big thing there is that she made up for her own mistake, but you also take the sting of the missed penalty off the board earlier, knowing that you saved one of your own now.
Take a look at the replay. I mean, just perfectly timed it up. Did she even hesitate going the other way? Nope, she knew exactly where she was going. What a play by the senior goalkeeper, Riley Sweetland, who does not want today to be her last game. 2 missed PKs in one game. At the state tournament, I guess you'll have that. Gonna have a free kick here. Nope, we're not. It's gonna be a break. Hydration break. Don't go away. What a game so far. 2-2, Waukee and Bettendorf tied. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament here on the Girls Union Network. Thomas, what am I trying to say? Girls Union Digital Network, Power 5. The heat is not getting to me. I promise it's not that hot underneath this tent. You can't see us on the camera, but we are underneath the scaffolding. Our camera people are the ones going all out. Yeah, but we do have a little bit of coverage here.
This has been a nice shade. Yeah, it's a little bit more comfortable than it is.
Not as bad as what these girls are going through out in the sun. But, boy, what a game. 2-2, 29:57 to go officially here. Again, just a heads up, if we get down to it, the clock that we have on the screen is not official. It's just what we run off the clock. So the clock, if it comes down to it, you're like, oh, man, why isn't the clock right? Well, the clock is different on the screen just slightly from what we have on the field. 2-2. Waukee and Bettendorf got this thing knotted up. I don't know. It kind of feels like anyone's game. Bettendorf would in a way, do you think Bettendorf wanted that water break? I mean, try to keep that momentum rolling a little bit because now Waukee's had a chance to regroup, come back out.
Yeah, I think it's hard because Waukee, towards the end of those 10 minutes, started to put more pressure on after Bettendorf's momentum. I think still truly just because of the heat, they're both taking the time to say, all right, let's adjust this. Any chance you have to talk tactically as a team in a soccer game, you have to take because it doesn't come very often. You know, there's a very big thing with the World Cup this year that they're doing water breaks every 20 minutes. Coaches are even bringing laptops out onto the field to talk to players. And so, you know, even at these lower levels, any chance that you get to talk as a full team outside of halftime is a huge advantage.
Waukee with it over on the far line. Going to have a foul called. Sydney Burrier hits the grass. But this is a free kick into the wind here for Waukee. I don't know how much this is going to help. Free kick's a free kick, though. See what they can do over there. I think that's Tori Bowenkamp is the one who's taking that one.
And depending on how aggressive Sweetland's going to be, you do have the chance to float this over towards the back post. It'll hold up in the wind and then drop right to the feet of one of your players.
Bowenkamp lines up, fires on the way. Knocked out. Nicely done by Taylor Ingalls. Powers puts her foot into it, and it's caught by Sweetland. If you're just joining us, back and forth so far, both teams apiece have missed a penalty kick. One of them skied up by Bettendorf, and then Mulehopt had hers blocked by the goalkeeper, Sweetland. You just don't see that very often.
No, you don't, and obviously both teams are wishing that they had them back, but, you know, I think in the minds it's now offsetting of, okay, you know, maybe we got a little lucky that they missed one, but now we missed one. This game is completely on level terms no matter what.
It's going to be one that no matter what happens in the end, each team's going to be like, wow, we left some points on the board.
Yeah, definitely a game that at the moment feels like the losing team is going to feel that they probably deserve to go on. They just couldn't find the goals when they needed to.
Good effort that time by, I believe that was Caitlin Kingma who knocks that one out. Good effort. Throw in here for Waukee. A little bit more on Waukee's side here offensively this time in the last couple minutes. Ball booted back down. Again, both teams done such a good job clearing. There's Stella Braddock. Called her name a ton today defensively. This one's probably going to bounce out, and it does. Bettendorf ball. Back up the pitch, Kingma. Got around Beyer. Now sends this one upfield to Engels. Engels works her way to the center. Here's Snow. Can't get it. Just drops right into the knees of Morgan Lowry.
Really good reaction in the area. They call that a collapse save in the goalkeeping world, where you don't really have time to get into your dive, so you kind of just have to fall on it. You know, from that distance, very well done from Lowry.
It doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to land on the ball. Taylor Ingalls working her way back up the field. Got it jumped in front of by Isabel Sheave. this wind picking up, it might be the true advantage for Bettendorf here. Just like that, that one knocked ahead as Pena's right there. Morgan somehow able to save it. Here comes another chance for Snow. It's blocked again. Morgan Lowry. Oh, how about back-to-back saves by the senior goalkeeper? Wow.
Yeah, just very well done from Lowry. It has to be better from Braddock there. You know that you're under pressure. You know that ball is going to be coming your way. I think you just have to have the awareness that maybe you don't try to settle it down. Maybe you just, get that ball out of play.
Bettendorf gets the corner kick. Channel Seeds corner kick out of it. Kick on the way. Braddock again. Boy, she just gets taller and higher than everybody else. It's a low liner that's going to miss to the right of the goal, and it's a goal kick here for Waukee. So the Warriors withstand that punch from the Bulldogs. And now a kick back into the wind. Hurleman battled tough with Taylor Engels, and a foul is called on Engels.
It's just a little too physical there from Engels.
So, head official having a chat here with a couple of the coaches. Officials letting Coach Sanya know that you can argue with something a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Save your breath. Bettendorf trying to go on the run out. Pena right there, sent out to the left. Who last touched it, though?
Believe it was Hannah Powers.
Yeah, I think Powers got it. Is it a corner or is it going to be a far throw-in? Nope, it was a far throw-in. Hard to see from over here. Got a Bettendorf Bulldog down on the ground, and it's going to be a goal kick anyway, so Waukee sends it back the other way. Lowry will be the one to boot this one back with 23:15 to go. There's a longer kick again, just going to miss to the left. It's amazing how things have, just kind of flipped left and right. Waukee was really strong offensively there for a little bit. Now things have just switched back over. Now Bettendorf seems to be the one possessing a little bit.
Definitely a game of momentum here, and Bettendorf has really gained it back since that water break. You could sense that they kind of needed it after they pushed so much in that first 10 minutes to find the equalizer.
One thing's for sure, when that breeze dies, it's hot. We notice it right here down field side here. Waukee trying to get some offense going. They just haven't had a chance. Here's Mulehop, sends it up ahead, but again, it's cleared out by Williams. Cruz trying to go after it for Waukee. Here is Olivia Anderson with it. Again, sent ahead. We're seeing a couple of those here. Just kind of free balls going up the pitch. Morgan Lowry now going to kick this one back out. She has been busy here in this second half. Anderson with it here for Bettendorf. Now up over to Styles Pena. But again, Waukee clears out momentarily. Again, Williams on the back line, not letting it get too far. Closing in on about a minute left before we get our next water break here in this second half. Boy, Williams just not letting it get behind. Braddock also not letting it get behind. Both defending sides doing a really nice job here. looks like. Going to have a substitution, IMT insurance substitution for both Waukee and Bettendorf. Okay, now there we go. Sadie Harnung into the match along with Kinley Street for Waukee. I'm surprised they didn't call the water break right there, but
yeah, and you know, with just 30 seconds left, I'm honestly shocked that they didn't, but they'll let this play out, I guess.
Trying to keep it consistent, I guess, for the most part. I assume the next play out will probably be it.
Right there.
2:16.
Or no. Still running.
Think about there we go. There's your water break. So time is called. 2-2, halfway through this second half of action. Knotted up between Waukee and Bettendorf. We'll take another break for hydration. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Halfway through this second half of action between Waukee and Bettendorf here in the Class 3A quarterfinals of the 2026 Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament here at Lead Recreational Complex on the campus of Iowa State University. You know, usually during the summer, campus ain't too busy, but looks like visiting days here. I've seen a lot of orientation-looking students. You can always tell because they kind of walk around a little lost, don't really know where they're going. I can't say much. I didn't go to Iowa State, but.
No, I think it is orientation right around that time for colleges.
That's about right.
Schedule your classes as freshmen.
They're probably a little confused seeing all the cars here, but boy, the girls have just done another phenomenal job. It is an event at these state tournaments. Atmospheres, and not to look ahead, but state softball is proving to be one of the coolest experiences that we've seen with the Little League or the College World Series format being adopted, a double elimination coming in late July. It's going to be a long week, but a fun week up in Fort Dodge. That is our next tournament coming up on the Girls Union Digital Network. 2-2 here with 20 minutes to go. In those last 10 minutes, Thomas, I felt like Bettendorf seemed to be the better, but there's just no true advantage right now. I think everybody's kind of in the middle, and I think everybody's getting tired.
Yeah, definitely. You've played an hour now, and you've had the breaks, but, you know, this heat starting to get some heavy legs. I wouldn't be shocked to see more and more substitutions across these last 20 minutes. Just any fresh legs could make the difference.
Stella Braddock gets down. Boy, she has just been so good defensively. Her and Avery Williams of Bettendorf on the other end, just two very good defenders that have just made it very tough on the offensive forwards. Here comes a runaway chance for Engels. Haley Engels hits the turf. No call. They let him play on.
Yeah, I think Braddock did a good job to stop the ball first before any contact was made there.
Engel's going to try again. She gets free momentarily. Tries to center this one, but it was a weak dribbler. Tries again to Snow. In the middle. Shot on goal is good. I believe Addison Woelfel is the one who gives Bettendorf the lead. It's 3 straight for the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
again, we'll confirm.
Right place, right time. Another little bit of miscommunication between the Waukee defenders.
And it is. Addison Woelfel is the one with the goal. That is her 9th of the season. It's a 3 unanswered goal performance by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was not a superb cross. It's just got to be dealt with better by the Waukee defense.
Bettendorf going to try to keep going here as Lowry comes up and makes the play. Boy, what a turn of events here. Bettendorf has just not stopped. And Waukee, just like Bettendorf was thinking probably earlier, that missed PK could loom large. As here comes Engels again, chasing this one down the far touch line. It seems to me, Thomas, that Bettendorf seems quicker right now. Like, I feel like the heat's maybe not hurting them as much.
Yeah, and I do think the wind has a large part of
Yes.
that. You know, even with the wind, you're running against it if you're Waukee at this point, which can just be that little bit more tiring. But also, they say a 2-goal lead's the most dangerous in soccer. You get one, you've got the momentum. You get a second, you've tied it, and now you're looking for a third, and you've got the other team just completely off what they have been doing. And I think that's the area that Waukee's in right now. They have to settle down. They have the ability to find a third, but they're not going to do it by playing erratic.
Still a bit to go, 17:35 to go. Still got one more break coming up at the 10-minute mark. So still plenty of time for the Warriors. And here comes Josie Muehlhoff, trying to get her team rolling here. The senior is moving down the field. You're going to send this one ahead to Sydney Burrier, who had the first goal of the day, but it's cleared back up the field by Kelsey Smith. Nicely done.
Yeah, and Smith did a really good job there. That was a great solo run from Muehlhoff, but, you know, having to give the ball up, and then Smith does very well to stop the attack and let Bettendorf regain their positioning.
IMT Insurance Substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. All substitutions here at the state tournament brought to you by our friends over at IMT. Waukee just trying to keep the pressure up. Muehlhoff working her way to the center. Trying to go back and forth, get around a couple, and fires that one over the top. 16 and a half to go. For one team, it's going to feel like an hour per minute. For the other team, realistically, it's going to feel like about 10 seconds per minute.
Yeah, and I think Bettendorf's in a spot now where they're probably still going to go try and get that insurance goal, get a fourth. Just thinking that Waukee's just going to throw everything at you.
Ball bouncing around here at the top. Here's Olivia Snow, sends this one ahead, but again, just a little too far. Engels was in position. Waukee Northwest defeats Dubuque Hempstead 7-0 is your final score. So the winner of this game will play Waukee Northwest, who has just been a hammerhead throughout the season. They have been so good, defending state champions. Look to be the ones to beat. Here comes Engels again. Trying to get around one, fires, and scores! 4 unanswered for Bettendorf. Haley Engels, the junior, puts it into the back of the net. There's your insurance goal.
Yeah, and they really have just grabbed momentum and haven't given it back whatsoever.
I can't believe she got around. She worked around Maddie Atwood and then just barely, not much room, got it around Lowry.
It looked like Atwood just tried to be a little too cute with it there. You try to maintain possession when you go in for the tackle, when in reality you should probably just send that out for a corner. Again, it's the live to fight another day mentality that you have to have when you're already trailing by 1. And when you're defending, yeah, you want to keep possession or regain possession, but being too cute with it leads to a goal.
4 unanswered by the Bettendorf Bulldogs. Now have them leading 4-2. Waukee came in today having only given up 7 goals the entire season. They've given up more than half of that in this game alone.
And 3 of those coming in the second half. And it's really just been all Bulldogs the entire second half outside of that one attack that led to the penalty attempt for Waukee.
And this is a Waukee team that is not built to play in these 4-2 games. This is a team that averaged only 2.3 goals per game. Only 30-some goals this season compared to Bettendorf's 90 almost. Whole lot of contact as a whistle is blown. It's going to be Waukee ball. You're going to see that a lot here in the last couple minutes. Official having Coach Saunier calm down just a little bit. Nope, she's going to get a yellow. Team leading 4-2. She's trying to fire her girls up, keep them ready to go. Just didn't agree with the foul call.
Yeah, and still just Waukee's. You got to take advantage here. You are playing into the wind, so it's going to be a little tougher.
So it'll be a free kick for Waukee. As this one's sent and misses to the right. And it'll be a goal kick upcoming.
Just took a little knuckle down to the right.
I tell you what, the whole time that Coach Saney was saying that whole thing, she's kind of smiling and laughing along with it as well. She's like, I'll take the yellow card.
Yeah, yellow card to the coach doesn't do too much
Nah,
unless you
it really doesn't
grab a second, get sent off,
Yeah.
and get suspended for the potential
And
matchup
they were
on
joking
Thursday.
earlier. They're like, save your breath for something you actually want to argue against. And Coach Saney said, all right, I'll do that. She's got to be feeling good here. Team leading 4-2. Bettendorf trying to put the finishing touches now at this point. Trying to keep Waukee off the board because one more goal here for Waukee, then you're just right back to where you were.
I do think, though, if you're Bettendorf, you're feeling pretty comfortable. You gave up 2 goals in the first that, you probably would have wanted at least the first back. Not a fluky shot, but a shot that was placed perfectly.
Yes. Mule hop. Well done, but short. To the right just a little bit. It is picked up by Sweetland.
And that's one of those shots that the wind really does play on. If you get that up there and you're with the wind, that's going to drive towards the net versus wind just knocks it down from that position.
And it is worth noting, it just doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this is the hottest it's going to be right now. In these last 12 minutes, this is about the hottest it'll be this whole game. So for a team like Waukee who's down, that is even tougher. Again, Ankeny Centennial coming up at the conclusion of this game here on field number 2. We're going to have a free kick here. It is going to be Lowry to take it. No surprise, she's the one with the leg to do it. This one picked up short. Angles trying to move. How about the Angles sisters today? Haley and Taylor have been really good.
Absolutely. They were in the big build-up to that tying goal.
Yep.
And, they've just been a force in this second half that has helped give Bettendorf this 2-goal lead.
Huge credit to our officials today, outlasting the heat. Definitely not easy. And they're the ones running around the whole time. It's not like he can stop. That one's batted up in the air. Lowry just barely hops on top of it. Harnung almost had another goal for Bettendorf.
It just hasn't been very clean from Waukee in their own defensive box.
See, that time Morgan Lowry rolled it out. She didn't want to kick it. I think she was starting to realize my kicks aren't really going anywhere. Williams tries to clear. Closing in on our last break of the day. I'm not sure who wants it more. Olivia Snow, in and out. Snow fires and just misses. The rebound shot is going to roll out. Is it enough for a Channel Seeds corner kick? It is. Now, are they going to give them time here? Nope, they're going to do subs. So they're probably going to let them do this corner kick, and then my guess is probably do the break.
Which I do think is probably the right decision, just with a corner being more of an unnatural stoppage to take a break with.
Yeah, you don't really want to think about a corner kick for 3 minutes. So,
it would almost be like drawing up an inbound
I was going to inbound play,
basket.
yeah, off timeout. I was wondering where the ball was. There we go. There's the ball. So here comes the corner. Nope, it's a throw-in. It's a very far throw-in, so I don't know. What do I know? Again, hard to see from our perspective right down here on the baseline. Here's a shot that heads to the goal. Lowry hops on top of it. Again, the wind kind of helped that thing. It just kind of turned, started angling. Lowry boots it back the other direction.
Waukee just doesn't have enough players forward right now for the push that they're trying to make.
This one pushed ahead, but again, staying on top of it. They're not going to stop it now because Waukee has offensive possession. Now they might get this one ahead to Styles Pena, who has had a quiet day, but honestly, her teammates have done so well, you're almost like, well, head official in front of us says they're just waiting for the next good break to take the water break. But the thing is, we're losing time quickly.
Nice ball from Lowry there.
That might be, nope, it's not going to roll out.
It's one of those playing on grass.
Yeah, it's going to stay in. Destiny Borland kicks this one back up the way, now sent the other way. Up and they go. Here comes Josie Mulehawk, couldn't get there. Boy, everybody's getting gassed. Is it going to stay in? Yes, it will. Styles Pena off on the run, tries to center back. Shot on goal, just misses down. Then there was an attack in the middle. Thought maybe we might have a whistle blown.
That's a dangerous tackle to make there.
That was tough. Nia Drish hit the turf pretty tough. And again, just not a good spot for a stoppage here, so we're under 8 minutes to go and still have not gotten our water break. And I don't think they're just going to not do it. There you go. Up the field it goes. 7:49 to go. One more break left. 4-2. Can Bettendorf hang on? You're watching the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Soccer Tournament. Final 7 minutes and 47 seconds left here in this Class 3A quarterfinal. Bettendorf leads Waukee 4-2. How about 4 unanswered by the Bulldogs in this one? Waukee led 2-0 early in the first half. Bettendorf has just kept on coming and now leads by 2 and looks to put the finishing touches on this one, where they will head off to play Waukee Northwest on Thursday.
I think Bettendorf has just they've done a really good job at doing what no real other team has been able to do to Waukee, and that's put more than 2 past them. And I think a lot of that is down to they changed their style of play a little bit. You know, against the wind, they were initially trying to go for those long balls. They weren't falling. They managed to find one in the first, and since then, all the momentum has been theirs.
7 starters from last year's state tournament team for the Bulldogs on this team. Probably a couple stragglers left over from the 2024 state championship team. He's got a foul down over there. And you got to think, only 1 loss this year, and it wasn't even to a team from Iowa. They still have not lost to a team from the Hawkeye State. So,
given that we're in Ames, I feel like you can call it the Cyclone State.
Care. I'm a Hawkeye. I'm not a Cyclone. So,
but no, that is a big part, and I think, you know, with them being the 5 seed, I'm sure a lot of questions were asked about their schedule. Even though you have 15 wins, who have you really played? And I think they've today shown, like, yeah, we get you're from the CIML, but you know, just because we play out in Eastern Iowa and we might not play the same level of competition doesn't mean that we are not the same level of competitive as a team.
And usually you see that in all sports, and it's usually a cool story when these teams from Eastern Iowa or sometimes Western Iowa show up and say, yeah, guess what? We were the best team.
Yeah, and I think you saw something similar on the boys' side this year with Hoover going and winning the state title. Just because, you know, most of these top classes have really become centered around the suburb schools, even the lower classes with DCG and Norwalk. But, you know, the schools from outside the Des Moines metro area are still very good at these sports.
Yeah, absolutely. Waukee trying to put something up on the board, but the sand is trickling down the hourglass here. Stella Braddock up here trying to get some pressure going. You can see a lot of black jerseys have made their way to the front, Thomas. You talked about it. They needed more.
Yeah, and I think they should have done this 4 minutes earlier, just with, you know, how hard this Bettendorf back line has been to break down in this second half.
Bettendorf coaching staff letting some of their players know, don't chase it, just kind of stay home, let the ball come to you.
I think the worst mistake you can make if you're Bettendorf here is overstepping one and either giving an easy lane to the net.
Yep.
Or the other thing you do, you overstep one, you commit a foul that's either a good spot for Waukee to win it or for Waukee to score, or a penalty kick even is worst case scenario if you're Bettendorf here.
Do have a corner kick coming up here for Waukee. Trying to get this thing back within 1. Give yourself a chance here in the final 5 minutes. Josie Muehlhaupt is headed back to the corner, so a good leg behind it here. Bettendorf just trying to get through this, withstand a punch here. Muehlhaupt's kick on the way. Nobody's home on the other side. Stella Braddock kind of just going to let this thing roll, and Olivia Snow comes up and gets it. Ransom tries to knock this thing back to the center. Bettendorf trying to clear it.
I think there's starting to be some heavy legs out there on both teams.
Another shot that just misses high into the right. You could really see that with Stella Braddock. I think she was just getting real tired.
Yeah, and I think the message to Bettendorf right now has got to be either from the back, either from Riley Sweetland or from the head coach is contain. You know, you don't need to step into tackles, just contain. You don't want to give up shots, but you can step in front of those. Contain, don't let them go past you.
Play conservative.
Yeah, play conservative. You don't have to be aggressive with your defense in a moment like this. versus Waukee, you kind of have to.
Again, just trying to get on clearing mode to send these things back the other way as we are under 4.5 to go. The Bulldogs can smell a trip to the state semifinals, and this is exactly where they want to be. They want to be on their side of the field, or on Waukee's side of the field, just trying to keep moving. Styles Pena says, I might try to get one more. Nope, she's going to still a little conservative there. Going to have a whistle blown on Pena, so it'll be Waukee ball.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, if you're Waukee there, I don't know that you wanted that
whistle.
That that just takes more time. You managed to win possession, and that clock is ticking fast.
Yeah.
You know, this 340 is going to feel like a lifetime for Bettendorf, but for Waukee, it's going to feel like a minute.
Snow sends it back down the field. I've been so impressed by Olivia. The senior has already got 1 goal today. She's been everywhere setting up her teammates. Now she's with it here once again. Again, just kind of playing keep away. Near side ball by Powers, sent back up to the middle, but again, it's picked up by Taylor Ingalls. That ball just knocked ahead. Lowry's going to come up and get it. 3 minutes to go. And Lowry will boot this thing back down the pitch. Mule hop on her own up the middle. And just tries to fire with her left, and Sweetland hops on it. It's kind of what you see here down in the closing minutes, just trying to toss things ahead, give yourself a chance. Bettendorf continuing to clear. Styles Pena trying to go after it with Powers. Pena fires and just misses to the left.
Yeah, I still think, you know, even though you don't put that one in, getting an opportunity like that still really big for Bettendorf because that's just going to eat away at more clock. And, you know, Waukee is almost at the point that they are running out of time to score.
They're also running out of gas. I am seeing a lot of tired players. You can see number 23 there, Maddie Atwood. She looks like she is gassed. Looks like time is running out for Waukee here with under 2 minutes to go. What an impressive performance today by the Bulldogs. Just over 1.5 minutes to go. That one's going to bounce out all the way to the corner. Going to have time called for our substitution. So clock will stop.
And I think if you're Waukee, you almost have to send this deep, hope you get a lucky bounce to get this through in goal. And you probably have to score on this possession or attack. If you don't, there's just not going to be enough time to put 2 in.
Clock is not running. Now it's running. Waukee just can't seem to get a breakaway here on offense. Braddock gets tripped up. That's going to be a foul, so they're going to get a free kick here. But again, that stops everything. So
yeah, it doesn't stop the clock. You know, I almost, if I'm Waukee, yeah, I'd say I'm not waiting for everybody to get set. I'm trying to send that right at the keeper and catch Sweetland off guard, which they didn't.
Yeah, Sweetland able to jump on top of it. How about the recovery job all day by Riley Sweetland? I mean, she gives up the goal in the first 3 minutes. I mean, just tough demoralizing. And then she gives up the second goal, and then she gets the block on the penalty kick, and she's just been great ever since.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the mentality of a goalkeeper is often more important than their physical performance sometimes because when you're playing in the net, if you get scored on quickly, it can be so demoralizing. And it can really throw you off of your game. And the way Sweetland has been able to recover from giving up a goal in really the first 2 or 3 minutes of this game has been really impressive.
Ball bouncing around just outside the box. Bettendorf trying to clear just one more time. Here's Stella Braddock trying to get around one. She will fire with the left. It's off the top of the crossbar. They're still continuing to clear it out. Now they do. And one more good save for good measure for Bettendorf. How about 4 unanswered goals by the Bulldogs? They storm back and defeat Waukee. 4-2 is your final score. Bettendorf through the heat and all, advances to the Class 3A semifinals where they will take on Waukee Northwest.
Yeah, I think just a really, really good effort from the Bulldogs. I think Waukee's going to be a little disappointed with some of the chances that they did create. They rang the crossbar a few times, and they definitely left some goals out on the table with that penalty. But I think the effort from Bettendorf to come back when you're in a 2-0 hole against a team that doesn't give up a lot of goals and plays in that low block to find a way to put 4 past them just speaks to the level that this team is at, and that they know that they can go compete with anyone in the state.
Waukee will bow out on the season at 9-4-3, and Bettendorf ends to move on 16-1-3. The Bulldogs just continue to roll. Again, a 2-time state champion program back in '98. Now in 2024, they'd love to do it again, and they get to face the best in Waukee Northwest. So they've already faced one Waukee team. Now can they get through another? We'll send it down on the field here for our trophy presentation as Bettendorf gets ready to advance their name in the bracket.
Receiving matches, every player will receive a commemorative soccer ball.
Hey, let's go!
Iowa Farm World, the proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards today is IGHSAU Executive Director Aaron Burlick, along with soccer administrator Tanya Mo. Congratulations to head coach James Brook and the Waukee Warriors on an outstanding 2026 soccer season. Your team advances to the Class 3A semifinals, where you'll face Waukee Northwest Thursday at 5 p.m. on Field 1. Congratulations. And now at this time, I'd like to recognize today's quick star of the game, Olivia Snow from Bettendorf. Olivia is staying out the first round, entering the semifinal round. Thanks to Quick Star for their support of the IGHSAU.
It is a final. Bettendorf, the Bulldogs, score 4 unanswered to take down Waukee. 4-2 is your final score. The Bulldogs are off to the Class 3A semifinals where they will take on Waukee Northwest on Thursday night. That will do it for us here on this field. We'll be back in a little bit for Ankeny and Ankeny Centennial. For everyone on our entire